Hey, good morning, folks. My name is Ellen, and we're going to begin this morning not with a normal prelude, but with learning this super cool song that Adam Pod wrote. And I have to tell you that I was at a very noisy wedding reception last night, so I might sound like a frog, but we'll just gather together, and we're going to sing Joy in the Morning. So I'll just teach little bits. We'll find joy in the morning. Everyone? We'll find joy in the morning. Next part. Strength. No. Joy in the morning. Joy in the morning. Joy.
Good morning. Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh. It's Sunday, October 19th, and I am today's liturgist, Chrissy Ambras. I use she, her pronouns, and for anyone experiencing any visual difficulties, I'm a light-skinned woman in my mid-40s. I have short brown hair, and today I'm wearing a camel-colored shirt. Reverend Kate is out of town this morning, but by way of announcements, she asked me to remind everyone that the annual Pittsburgh cluster meeting will be here at the church on Saturday, November 15th, and there will be more details and information about that in the newsletter. With us today are the Reverend Dr. Martine J. Rafanan. Reverend Rafanan was born in Oakland, California, and is a supply pastor for the Pittsburgh Lutheran United Ministries. He's served that church as a low-wage worker organizer, director of social services and community nonprofits, a political activist, and a parish pastor. With us also are guests Mary Parrish of the Alternatives to Violence Project and Som Sharma with the Alliance for Humanitarian Initiatives, Nonviolence, and Spiritual Advancement. More information about our guests and these organizations can be found in your order of service, and welcome to you all. And welcome to everyone. If you are watching us now or sometime in the future, if you are a member here, if you are a guest, a visitor, a friend, you are welcome. We Unitarian Universalists are one people of many beliefs, many origins, sexualities, and genders. We're a multi-faith religious community where all are welcome, diversity is celebrated, and questions are expected. We are all growing, all learning, and all loved, and just as you are welcome. If this is your first time with us, we really would love to be in touch. If you're here, please visit our welcome desk in the atrium, out those doors and down the steps. If you are joining us via YouTube, we invite you to Google First Unitarian Church of Pittsburgh, visit our website, and sign up for our newsletter. But not right now, because right now, I invite you to take a deep breath, arrive in body and spirit, and be connected to everyone who is with us or who will be with us. We turn now to our chalice, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. If you have a chalice at home, we invite you to light it now. And we light the chalice this morning with the words of Deborah Burrell. Fire consumes and casts a bright light. May our chalice consume our regrets for the past, our fears about the future, and our worries about today. May it light for us a path of joy and peace. And now I would invite you, as you are willing and able, to rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn. It is number 168, One More Step. please now join me in our collective reading. The words are printed in your order of service and are probably on a screen somewhere. Wonderful. We name our collective recommitment to care for the earth, knowing the ground we live upon is sacred. We pledge to bring new life to the earth, new life to the air, new life to the waters, new life to each other, for all life is sacred.
I'd like to invite the children and youth to come on up for our time for all ages. Today we're going to talk about an area of the world all the way over in Asia called India. So how many people have heard of India before? I can ask this to everyone. I'm hoping all the grown-ups will raise their hand. I'm hoping if you're not raising your hand, it's because you're shy. Okay, that's my hope. How about all of you? Has anyone here heard of India before? All right, I'm seeing some hands. I think some of you are shy. So anyway, so here's the map of India. And some of you may have even heard of a little part of India called Khasi Hills, because we talk about it a lot here at First UU. Anyone hear of Khasi Hills? All right. So it's way over in India. It's an area that has a lot of hills, just like Pittsburgh does. So that's one thing we have in common with that area. Another thing we have in common with that area is that they have UU churches over there, just like our church. But I'm going to tell you something really cool about that part of India that you may or may not know. They have a UU school. So kids can go to a Unitarian school all week and be with their friends and sing Unitarian songs and learn all kinds of stuff that we learn here. Does anybody here think that might be fun? Think that might be fun? Okay, I'm going to put the map down. So this week, or sometime soon, a friend from our church, Shelly, who's sitting right over there, she's going to be traveling all the way to this school in Khasi Hills of India. And this is a school that we've been helping out for about 20 years. So how many people think that they've been alive for 20 years? Okay? So again, that, hoping all most of grown-ups are raising their hand. So 20 years is a super long time. And one thing we've been able to do, not for 20 years, but a little more recently, is help them with 2 teachers that teach 11th and 12th grade. Hi. 11th and 12th grade. And before we started helping them in this way, kids could not graduate from high school. So we now have kids who live in an orphanage close by, run by this UU church, who are going to college, like for the first time, graduating from our program, going to college, dreams of being lawyers and doctors and nurses and things like that. So not that it's the first people to go to college from that town, but like some of the first from the orphanage. So that's quite a big deal. So Shelly is going to be going there to continue our friendship with them. How many people think friends are really important? Awesome. So we have friends over there that we talk to pretty regularly that run the school and tell us about all the neat things all the kids are doing. And so Shelly's going to continue that spirit of friendship, because we always want to see our friends, don't we? And so we can't go over there very often. So she's going to be learning, and she's also going to be bringing some cards that we're all going to sign. And then she's going to come back and tell us all about it. So please go downstairs during social hour and sign these cards so that you can send your greetings all the way to India with Shelly. So right now, I would like to invite the Khasi Hills team to come forward. And everyone in the congregation, please look at your order of service so that you can read along with our travel blessing for Shelly.
Okay. May you travel in an awakened way, gathered wisely into your inner ground, that you may wholeheartedly make the most of invitations that wait along the way. May you travel safely, arrive refreshed, and live your time away to its fullest. Return home more enriched and free to balance the gift of days which call to you. May you share with our Unitarian siblings our love and support. And may you return with stories that inspire and warm our hearts. Ashe. If you would please now rise, we're going to sing our, no, don't rise. Stay seated. Just kidding. That was just a drill. We're going to sing our children out with number 1010, We Give Thanks.
Good morning. I'm Linda Archinaco. For those who are visually impaired, I have light skin, light brown hair. I'm in my 80s, and today I'm wearing a brown and black print shirt. I'm a relatively new member of this congregation, having joined just 2 years ago. So this morning, I'd like to tell you why I came to this church so late in life, why I intend to stay, and why I support the stewardship campaign. My first introduction to Unitarian Universalism was about 25 years ago when a friend brought me to a Sunday service here in this church. After the service, I went downstairs to the Undercroft and was given a red coffee mug indicating I was a visitor. And I remember many people talking with me. It was very friendly. The mug worked. And it was a good experience. However, for whatever reason, I did not come back. Many years later, another friend took me to a UU church in Savannah, Georgia. And then I did return and finally became a member of that church. I grew up here in the Pittsburgh area, but during one especially long winter, I decided to move to South Carolina and lived many years in Hilton Head and in Savannah, where I officially became a Unitarian Universalist. So I lived there a long time, was very happy, all was well. Then came COVID. And my daughters, who live here in Pittsburgh, reminded me that I'm growing older. And the message was very clear. Mom, you'd better come home. And I did, so I returned to Pittsburgh, and I'm happy to be here. So, of course, the first thing I did was church shop. So I visited all the UU churches in Pittsburgh, and I chose this congregation. It seemed to be the kind of community that I was looking for, welcoming, friendly. I love this beautiful space, the music, Reverend Kate. So October 2023, I became a member. And during the last 2 years, I've learned there are many other reasons to be a member of this congregation. And right now, perhaps the most relevant one is that so many of our members are taking our UU values out into the world, participating in community organizations, supporting causes that are extremely important. Several times, watching the local news coverage of demonstrations and marches downtown, I recognize people from this congregation. I get so excited, it's like seeing a celebrity. And we know there are many examples of our people here being active, being involved. There's the work of Women's Alliance, the Humanists, the men's group. Some of you have your own projects. People support the environment, PIN, getting out the vote. So in these uncertain times, it means a lot to me to be in a group where I can be encouraged, that people aren't just complaining, aren't just afraid, but are actually doing something, are actually making a difference. I think this is a vibrant congregation. It's multi-generational, with the energy of children and young people, and at this time in my life, that too is very important. I like it here. It's a good place to grow old. And there's an elevator. So these are some of the reasons why I'm here and why I'm happy to support the stewardship campaign. So I ask you to join me in financially supporting this remarkable congregation. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. It is now time to collect our morning offering. Every month, we share our generosity with a designated organization, and this month it is to support PIN, with whom all donations will be shared 50-50 unless they've been somehow otherwise designated. Our religious community is made up of a staff and volunteers who create and host a wide variety of programming, and all of that relies on our financial support. There are many ways to offer that support. In addition to the collection plate, you may donate by texting GIVE to the number on the screen, 412-435-1050, and following the directions. And there are more options listed at the end of your order of service. The offering will now be gratefully received to support the work, the wonder, and the witness of our religious community. I invite the ushers forward. For joys and sorrows this morning, I have a few things to share. First, that the celebration of life for Pam Alexander Blackwood will be on Saturday, November 1st at 3 p.m. In our church, and there will be a card available to sign during the social hour. I also share a joy from Kathy Miller and Christine Bareggi, who ask us to keep their grandchild, Riley, formerly known as Megan, in all good thought and prayer. Riley underwent top surgery on Tuesday, October 14th, and is now recovering. Riley expects that this step will lead to a personally more fulfilling life, and your support for their decision will bring all of us great joy and make their world a place in which they can flourish. Amen. And we hold each other with all of our joys and all of our sorrows. May anyone who's suffering or mourning find peace. May those who hunger or thirst be quenched with nourishment and sated with the elixir of life. May those who have experienced violence find care and comfort in the healing that comes in time. And may all of us find the loving kindness that is ours to share. May we open our hearts and minds to encircle with love all in our community and beyond. So may it be. Amen. Namaste, and blessed be. You're invited now into a few moments of silence, personal meditation, or prayer. I have a meditation from Eric Cherry. The history is complex. The politics are intense. The fear and anger are overwhelming, and the future is unclear. But glimpses of a hopeful future will not be bombed into oblivion by anyone. In prayer, we call to mind the peacemakers, neighbors of differing faiths with different histories, with different politics, and with different emotions, who find room for each other in their hearts, in their dreams, and in their lives. Those who hold firmly to a vision of peace and justice anywhere in the world. Our musical response this morning is 159. This is my song.
The reading is from the 5th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. Now when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them. He said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecuted the prophets who were before you. You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." Brothers and sisters, I bring you greetings from down the street, from St. Andrew Lutheran Church, where I am a member. You can see that we're putting a new roof on our building, which is costing a fortune. I am so delighted to be with you this morning. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to share a few words about these scriptures, but also it is great for me to just be here in your presence. After Linda's comments, I feel like I want to join this church. And after your beautiful presentation about your work in India, I know how much you as a group of people are committed to making your intention something that is expressed in the world. And that is beautiful, brothers and sisters. It is a gift. To me, I'm inspired by what it is that you are doing. I'm also want to pick up some new ways of doing things, like telling you, those persons who may be visually impaired, what I look like. What little hair I have left, folks, is black. I am wearing a black shirt with a white tab and a beautiful stole. The stole symbolizes that it's multicolored, and it symbolizes that I have been asked by a lot of people to be a servant, to be a person who expresses their love, their compassion, and their kindness in the world, and encourages them to do likewise. Reverend Kate is a good friend. We share a lot of things in common, and one of the things we share in common is that we are committed to interfaith work. We are committed to organizing. I know you all are very connected to PIN. You took an offering for PIN today, which is wonderful. And in the last 10 years of my ministry, I was graced to be able to organize fast food and low-wage workers on call from my church. So that is close to my heart. I wanted to start by talking about baseball and Shohei Ohtani. Watching him perform this weekend brought tears to my eyes. I cry easily, but I cried because here was a person whose, now your theme is intention for this month, whose intention through discipline and through commitment and through the very empowerment of the gifts that they've received as a human being did something remarkable, had one of the most outstanding games that has ever been played by a major league person in all of history. So whether you are so stunned by the beautiful music we've already experienced this morning, or by seeing what raises our humanity to a wonderfully new level just by watching a baseball player do something remarkable. Brothers and sisters, we have this opportunity of connecting our intention with our integrity. And that is the meaning of the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes invite us into a world where the heart's intention matters more than outward achievement. Unitarians understand the Beatitudes in many ways as principles of compassionate living. You think about the reign of heaven as just and loving community. These verses are a focus on human dignity, human justice, and inclusion. Many Unitarians have called these verses ethical and spiritual poetry. It is poetry, not a strict religious formula. These words tell us who we become when we live with intention rather than compulsion. Jesus blesses not those who perform goodness, but those whose very being, their desires, longings, and wounds are open to transforming power in their lives. To be poor in spirit, poor in heart, pure in heart, or hungry for righteousness is not to display virtue for others to see, but to orient one's life and heart toward the reign of a just and moral universe. Each blessing flows from a posture of integrity, a wholeness between what we profess and what we truly seek. The Beatitudes describe disciples who live from the inside out. Their actions are the natural fruit of a heart aligned with a commitment to compassion, justice, and love. Mark Allen Powell, a leading scholar of Matthew's Gospel, reminds us that in these words, righteousness is not a performance of piety, but a way of being that heals the world, a harmony of motive and practice. Listen, intention without integrity leads to hypocrisy. Integrity without intention grows complacent. But when the two meet, when our desire to please God through humble service to neighbor and to all of creation, when that shapes our daily choices, the arc of the moral universe that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. talked about is quietly and beautifully made real through every action which comes from ourselves. Those actions are our commitment to justice and love as the ground of all being. So receive this blessing. Blessed are you, whose inner life mirrors mercy and justice, whose integrity makes visible the unseen love, which is the ground of all being. And this is why I need to stop talking, because I could talk on. Many people who know me like me to stop talking. But at this time, I want to introduce to you two people who actually show forth the beauty of what I have just said. Som Sharma and Mary Parrish. I am blessed to know them. When Reverend Kate asked me to do this, I said, can I ask Som and Mary to also come? And she said, of course. And so I share with you the beauty of these two people. Som?
Thank you, Martin. It's hard to follow that act. The message, the voice, the compassion, the training as a preacher, which I do not have. But he's a great friend. And so is Reverend Katie. And I'm so happy to be here with you this morning. Really, the lovely music and the lyrics conveying what we are all about. I wear two hats. I'm a Hindu, and when children were brought up in the front, a question was asked if they knew about India. And I know the wonderful work that you have been doing in Khasi Hills. So to those children and the parents, I'm from India. I'm Indian, the other Indian, and as a Hindu from India. So that is one role that I play. The other was Martin kind of obliquely referred to, is the peace-building work. I was fortunate to found an organization many years ago. It's called Ahinsa, A-H-I-N-S-A. The word coming from Sanskrit means non-violence. But the organization, which has been spelled out clearly, is an acronym, an Alliance for Humanitarian Initiatives, Non-Violence, and Spiritual Advancement. Those three components are critical to our work. And in this place, in this holy, wonderful place, which does so much good in the world, the foundation is the spiritual advancement. When we think of Mahatma Gandhi, when we think of Martin Luther King Jr., when we think of Desmond Tutu, what comes to mind is they are all spiritual people. Their message, the inner calling, came from their spiritual being. And that's what inspired me. I was fortunate. Yes, I'm going to give away my age right now, which I don't care about. I grew up listening to Mahatma Gandhi in India when I was growing up. I was a young child, of course. We did not have TV those days in India. We had radio, and we did not, personally in my family, we did not have a radio. But there were radios, messages, music being played on other radios. You could hear, you could go to a neighbor's house, or you could go to some kind of a store where there was some radio going on. Anyhow, and that message, listening to Mahatma Gandhi, has stayed with me. And that is what has been my inspiration. And then, of course, other things followed, my work in the schools and colleges and things like that. India's independence, which I grew up with. So, to me, it is not a word or a passage or a chapter to be read in history books, but a lived experience. When India became independent, and with Mahatma Gandhi, the leader, and other leaders of that time, the movement, and I'm going to touch upon a little bit about how we can, something what Martin referred to, how we can actually put those things in practice. That's what it's all about. So let me backtrack a little bit and start with the Hindu greeting, Namaste. I pray to the divinity in you, standing in this wonderful place. That will be the right thing to do. Second, on this occasion, it's a very special time for Hindus. We have the famous Diwali function, a celebration, strictly tomorrow, but it's a 5-day celebration. So I bring you greetings for Diwali, which is the festival of lights, but there is a story behind it. And the story behind it is what we are talking about today. The story is the victory of good over evil. I'm not going to go into the whole story, but that victory of good over evil is finally celebrated in lighting the lamps. And here's something, I do not know the detail of the chalice, but here is something very meaningful in the Diwali celebration. I think it's a strong spiritual and practical message. You light a lamp, and all other lamps are lit from that one single lamp. And what that represents is that in all of us, like I said, Namaste, the divinity in all, we are all divine. We are manifestations of divinity in different forms. So all other lamps draw their light from that one single lamp of consciousness. And that is where you and Hinduism and Mahatma Gandhi's message merge. That we need to look for that divinity and have an unshaken faith in it. What we go through in life is that sometimes it looks like something is evil. It is actually divine, but something, the karma theory, has made it look like evil. That is our burden, that is our task, to still see divinity and work with it and how to unfold and to take those layers off and help people around us through our work, through our example, to bring out that divinity again. So these are cycles that go through. I know I'm bringing up a whole lot of concept into very few words in an awkward way, but that is the message. And that is the message from Mahatma Gandhi when he said, don't ever lose faith in humanity. A few bad actions or people, humanity is like an ocean. A few bad actors at some time in life do not make the whole ocean dirty. It's just a few drops. We need to keep that in mind and not lose our faith in humanity. Another profound message from Hinduism, and when I say that, I don't claim that exclusivity or ownership of any such concept, because these are universal. We stand in universal Unitarian Church, the message of peace. I'm sure you all have heard from time to time a Hindu, especially a spiritual leader, saying, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, which hope you do see here, is a sound symbol of the divinity. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Why do we say it 3 times? Because obstacles, disturbances to us as human beings. Now, this is where Hinduism takes a very scientific approach of human behavior. They come from 3 sources. They are divine sources on which we humans have no control. Earthquakes, thunders, things like that. So distraction at a time when we are trying to do something. Second obstacle or distraction comes from our human beings created obstacles or problems. Loud noises, earth moving machinery, somebody just playing music, even that, although it's music, but it can be a distraction, or things of that nature. Third one, which I think the most important for us on this work here, the disturbance or obstacle come from within us. Our own thoughts, our own distraction to something else instead of focusing on the task at hand. So that is where the third Shanti is. So the way it is actually supposed to be said is, first Shanti, loud, Om Shanti, 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 addressing ourselves. With that firm intention, to borrow your word, Dr. Rafanan, that intention be so deep-seated within us that we can overcome any obstacle with persistence and patience to which will come. Coming back to the lighting of lamps on Diwali, there's another prayer that I would like to share with you along with Shanti, and these all usually all merged. Most prayers from Hinduism end with Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. There's another prayer, Asato ma Satgamaya, Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor ma Amritam Gamaya. The main message in that one is, lead, O Lord, lead us, O Lord, from darkness to light. And darkness can be created, all those 3 things they are listed or many more. Yet there is light, the divine light in all of us, provided to us, or the presence of God in us, if that is the name you choose. I choose something different. But as human beings, we have to have some names and forms. That's how our mind works. That's why we choose the word God. So, that's fine. So, that light of divinity, let that be our guide in our work, to remove the darkness around us. Coming to Mahatma Gandhi's work or words, something very familiar, very, very popular, but we need to stop and think about it deeply for a second, think together. Be the change that you want to see in the world. It's often repeated quote. How can we really be that change? That is our challenge. We can be that change by the conviction that we just talked about, our pure intention to look for divinity in all around us, in spite of the evil that is veiling us, veiling it for temporarily. Keep looking for that divinity and be the change ourselves. Set that example that I will be that change before I can ask you to change. By you, I don't mean to point fingers at anybody, but I hope you get the message. So the message is that we grow that inner strength that no matter what the evil or difficulties are going on right now, we will see that, continue to seek that divinity and work for it. Mahatma Gandhi also said, again coming back to the word God, truth is my God. And that truth has many, many, many deep definitions. But one simple thing is, truth is that which does not change because of time or circumstances. It ever remains. That is the ever shining light. We may call it divinity or God. And that is what Mahatma Gandhi kept seeking all his life. And so did Martin Luther King Jr. Mahatma Gandhi, and I keep bringing it back because the organization Ahimsa that I just referred to is inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. He also said, and I think that is one strong message that we can take with us, and we sang it all in our hymns this morning, that these ideas are never enough. I'm paraphrasing his quote. I can't remember the total quote right now, but I have the message deep within me. Discussions and the ideas are good, but they need to be put in practice. And he said something to the effect, you may think that what you do in life is small, but small actions do matter, and think that if you did not do that small act, there will be no result. So actions do require, results do require action. And that seems to be an ongoing challenge for us in humanity. Not losing faith, seeking divinity, sticking with that conviction, and acting on it. A good friend of mine, Professor Michael Nagler, who founded a Meta Center at the University of California, Berkeley, he wrote, we must never lose faith in humanity is not just a maxim. This is an urgent call to action. In this moment, we must embody faith in humanity as a living practice. So finally, with all those rambling and going around everywhere, I would say prayer, patience, and persistent action. Thank you. Namaste.
So I'm following an amazing church service where there was energy, spirit. Martine speaks eloquently. Psalm speaks eloquently. No pressure here. So, I'm Mary Parrish. I bring greetings from a friends meeting down the street. And honestly, kind of like what Martine said, I'm thinking I like being a Quaker, but I like y'all too. So I'm not sure what to do. But in any case, let me get to my business here so we can continue. I am here to talk about the Alternatives to Violence project. In Pittsburgh, this is an international undertaking. It grew out of a response by incarcerated people and community organizers and civil rights activists in Greenhaven Prison in New York as a response to the Attica riot, where sadly 43 individuals were killed. So this is something that's been around about 50 years. And I want to invite this congregation to, if you're interested, to partake in a mini workshop with us, the Alternatives to Violence Pittsburgh, which is just kind of growing. We're just been started for the last 18 months, 2 years. And there's a wonderful woman, Melanie Siao, who is sort of the primary organizer, but I'm happy to be a member of her team. And we also have a full workshop. So let me talk a little bit, give you a little testimony here. So I'm a Quaker. I've been a Quaker for 25 years. Now you would think that having been a Quaker for 25 years, I pretty much have my arms around the whole peace thing, right? You know, it's like, that's what they are, a peace church. And I thought I was pretty good. I mean, not like proud, but, you know, I felt like I knew what I was doing there. But AVP showed me new ways of putting my interest in peace and my faith into practice. Not just believing in peace and seeking to be peaceful, but practicing it with real people in real time, including people very different from me. I spent many years in the corporate world, and then I went to higher ed. Yoy. So, and I became aware that there's something inside me. I call her Corporate Mary. And Corporate Mary is very interested in getting the job done, because that's what I was good at. So, and I wasn't really thinking too much about like building relationships. I mean, you have to do some of that, sure, and that's great. And I don't think I was mean to people, but I was really most concerned with the end product and efficiency, because if you can't be anything else, be efficient. So wanted to get things done, and I still, after a few workshops with Alternatives to Violence, she's still there. I can hear her. A little criticism whispering in my ear. What about this? Why haven't we done this yet? You know, I can hear it. But AVP kind of gave me insight and the ability to take a step back and shift from fixing things to being in right relationship. Now, that doesn't mean you don't need to fix things, but what are the priorities? So being in right relationship, moving from control, I'm sure you can't imagine that I would have had a control problem, to being connected. And this has made a serious and marvelous shift inside me, a spiritual shift. And it allows me to live more fully into my Quaker beliefs. And it is something that, you know, Alternatives to Violence isn't like, here's a workshop, and once you've done this workshop, boom, you've got it. It's about a way of being in the world. So I've been through, and we have a kind of a basic workshop where you work on yourself, on your stuff, and it's not therapy, so don't be nervous. But we're working to end the violence that we have integrated into ourselves through our culture, through all of the influences in the world. And we want to liberate ourselves. So we work, the basic focuses on us, working together, and there's a kind of a roadmap that focuses on connection, building trust, affirming, recognizing the good in others, and recognizing that. Because we as people are hungry to be affirmed, not like in some, like, oh, you look nice way, but in a, hey, what you did there, that made a difference, that kind of a way. Speaking honestly and listening respectfully, I mean, we all know about that. Sometimes it's easier than others. Cooperating to meet everybody's needs, and the expression that Martine used, that you will hear a lot in Alternatives to Violence Project, conflict transformation. Finding creative ways to move through conflict with integrity and care and intention. So, AVP operates with an understanding that we're all in this together and that nobody's an expert. So there are facilitators for the workshop, and we are both all teachers and students at the same time. I don't think anybody's kind of found the, yep, I've got all that down. But we can't do it alone. And so in Pittsburgh, we want to build a team, a community of people who are interested in these principles, who might take them into their community organizations and their families, or friendships or workplaces, and allow us that give us the ability to create peace. And because we're always faced with some conflict, whether it's an annoying person, a barking dog, something. So there's work that we can do. So if you are all interested, and I'm not selling here, I'm offering, that the team would be very happy to come in and do a little 90-minute, like, here's a mini workshop, let's learn some things together. There's also a 18-hour workshop. Now that sounds like it's a lot, and it is. It's intense. It can go over a weekend, it can go over 2 Saturdays, it can be done a couple different ways. But I will tell you that having experienced several of these, it is amazing the way we connect. Martine was at our most recent one, and a wonderful group of people, and how invigorating it is to put our beliefs into practice in ways that help to make us bearers of peace. And I don't know, what's better than that? So when you started your service today, just say it, I can't remember. Chrissy, sorry. You started by doing what we call stopping. You breathed, you were quiet, you listened, you were aware, you got yourself settled. And we start every single session with stopping. And in fact, we encourage people to use stopping a lot because of the fast pace of life. So I'm gonna leave you with some of the words that we use as part of our stopping exercise. Sit, breathe, notice your breath, notice your heartbeat, notice this unconditional gift of life, and be open to life's transforming power. Life is valuable, you are alive, and you are valuable. And there's nothing you can do that will make you more valuable than you are right now. We can all be transformed. Let's do it. Thank you.
Thank you. It's time now for a hymn, number 183. Oh God, 63 or 83?
163.
163.
163, for the earth forever turning, and we may rise as you are living and lying.
Like we practiced before. Please be seated. I have some quick pumpkin news. The kids have decorated some pumpkins. So during social hour, for a donation to UNICEF, you will have the opportunity to see their pumpkins that they've decorated. And also outside, after service during social hour, there are going to be some games, some outdoor games. So everyone is welcome to that. I also want to take a moment and just express our deep gratitude and our thanks to our guests this morning. Thank you all so much for being here and sharing with us. Very grateful. Thank you. And now I invite you to join me in reading the words printed in your order of service and on the screens as we extinguish our flame. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Go now into a world that aches and hungers for blessing. Go as those who know that peace is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of understanding. Blessed are the humble in spirit, for they leave room for one another's truth. Blessed are those who mourn, for their hearts are large enough to hold the world's pain. Blessed are the gentle, for their strength is rooted in kindness. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for what is right, for they will help justice to grow like green shoots in spring. Blessed are the merciful, for they will see themselves in the faces of others. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they weave the torn fabric of the human family. And blessed are all who dare to love in a world that too often forgets how. Go forth to be comfort for those who mourn, courage for those who despair, and a quiet light for all who seek a path of peace. May we go in peace. May we go in hope. And may we go together.